Welcome to the Makko AI Interactive Visual Novel series. The goal of this series is to show you how to build an interactive visual novel using Makko AI. By the end of this series, you will know how to create a full game with multiple scenes and branches, custom backgrounds, custom animations, and how to debug common issues along the way. Let's get started. First thing you want to do is open Studio and create a new project. Our story is called The Whispers of Destiny. For the description, feel free to be as brief or as descriptive as you'd like. If you have your own GitHub account connected, feel free to create a repository for this project. Once you're ready, press Create Project. Once you do that, you will be greeted with AI chat. Here you'll be able to choose between fast mode or plan mode. Because we're just starting our game out, we want to use plan mode to lay out and plan how we're going to be building our game. Your first prompt should tell Makko what you're trying to build as well as what you need help with. Our initial prompt will be, I want to create an interactive novel game. Help me think through everything I need to consider while building this game. Then start planning and wait for Makko. Now something to note here is that AI is non-deterministic, meaning you won't necessarily get the same output even if you do the exact same input. So your result for this prompt might be a little different than mine, but it should be generally similar. As you can see here, Makko is going to help us design our interactive novel from scratch. It just needs some questions answered in order to understand our vision. Like I just mentioned, your questions here may be different than mine, but regardless, you want to take a few minutes here and answer all the questions that Makko presents you with so you can generate the best plan for your game. For me, Makko asks questions about the visuals and presentation, story and mechanics, content management, and technical preferences that I wanted. A little disclaimer here, in order to make this series as efficient as possible, I went ahead and created a story before I started recording. This is something you probably haven't done yet, so you will want to work with that story with Makko directly or on your own, and then let Makko know that you have a story ready, as you will see us do here shortly. As you can see, my answers to the questions Makko asked me are direct and concise. You don't want to be writing paragraphs for each point, as this is just setting the foundation for the game, not building the entire thing at once. For my answers, you can tell that we're building a fantasy adventure story with multiple choices at the end of each scene. Each scene will have background images and some will have character sprites that will accompany the narrative text that is presented in a typewriter format. And to make troubleshooting faster, I also added a skip story button that will allow us to view the full narrative story quicker to jump in between scenes and work faster. All these answers to the questions that Makko asks you should be unique to your vision, but if you like, you can take inspiration from my answers and try to follow along. Like I just mentioned, we are trying to build a foundation for the game. A common misconception about AI is that if you tell it to build a game, it will just build the entire thing from scratch in one go. That is not how AI works. Think of it like building a house. You want to build it from the foundation, brick by brick. And right now, that is exactly what we're trying to do. We are trying to lay the foundation for the game that we're trying to create. Once you have all your answers, enter the prompt and Makko will give you an overview explaining everything you just provided it. Read through this overview and ensure that everything looks good. And if something doesn't, just let Makko know and it will adjust. If there are no issues, let Makko know this overview looks good and it will generate an implementation plan for you to approve. Here you see that my submit plan actually failed the first time it tried. If this happens to you here or during any other point, all you gotta do is tell Makko to continue and it will reattempt the work. After Makko is done creating the plan, you will see the proposed plan and approach for you to approve. Like before, take a minute to review this plan and ensure that it matches the vision that you have for this game. If you see any issue, reject the plan, adjust, and resubmit. If everything looks good according to your vision, press approve and Makko will begin implementing the plan. As Makko does this, you will see each task being completed one at a time, with a progress bar at the top showing you how close it is to completion. Since your plan may vary slightly to mine that you see here, it is completely normal to see more or less tasks at the top here. As long as the plan that you approved look right, everything should be good. Once all of your tasks are completed, you are now able to preview the first version of your game. To do so, click on preview at the top right, press rebuild to recompile your code, and then press play. Unfortunately, we ran into a little runtime error here, but as you can see from the preview, we do have our main canvas which is trying to load our background image, an area near the bottom of the screen designated for our narrative text, and a skip story button at the top right that will help us work through each scene faster. Now the fastest and easiest way to fix errors in Makko is to simply analyze the error and then press fix it. This specific error though failed to execute open on XML HTTP request invalid URL bug that we ran into though is something that Makko wasn't able to fix on itself, so we had to go in and manually change the prompt ourselves. Thankfully, if you run into the same error, the fix is very simple. First, you want to copy the error, paste it into the AI chat, and at the bottom type, instead of using XHR, use fetch to fix this issue. Once you submit that and Makko works through that solution, you will be able to verify that the issue was fixed by going into the file and line mentioned in the error and see that you are using fetch instead of XHR. The reason XML HTTP request breaks our game is because Makko AI embeds JSON data directly into the build and uses a monkey patch fetch method to intercept requests and serve data from this embedded JSON. This allows the application to work offline and reduces server load. This error happened because AI code assistants are often trained on older code bases or documentation that still use XHR patterns. When generating code, they may default to XHR instead of the modern fetch API, unaware of our application specific architecture that relies on the fetch interception. If you want to learn more about this XHR bug, why it happens, the problems that it causes, and why this solution works, we have a help article that you can read on our Makko AI website, and you can find a link to it down in the description below. Now if you go back to preview, rebuild your game, and press play, you should see it working as intended. As you see here, even without providing a story to Makko, it generated a basic story so we can see how the game works. In the next video, we will go ahead and start replacing the story and backgrounds with the custom ones that we created. If you've been following along, you should have a working first version of the game, ready to start implementing your own custom story and feel. If you're ready to start doing so, be sure to watch episode 2 here on this same channel. If for whatever reason you ran into an issue or bug or error that was not covered in this video, make sure you leave a comment letting us know where you got stuck, and we will make sure that we can help you through that issue. If you have found this tutorial useful and want to see more on using Makko AI to build awesome games, be sure to like and subscribe for more awesome content like this.